Though this video is a little different from the other stuff that I uploaded on my little channel, this is not actually presenting any equipment or so, and no exciting pictures. This is actually just me reflecting a little bit after about 1 month of having the FiiO Q3 and Apple Lossless. Watch my linked video for the equipment that I'm using. If you are not interested in listening to me rambling about some random music stuff for the next few minutes, just leave the video. It won't be for you. What I just want to talk about is my, let's say, experience from using the equipment now for about a month. And going a little back, it's for me like things going back to the 90s. So I remember the 90s when I had my first hi-fi system at home. Was a teenager, and my first CD player and pair of headphones. You actually listen to a CD at, of course, CD quality with a decent pair of headphones, with an amplifier which could drive these headphones, and didn't really think much about it. And then from the 2000s and late 2000s, when Spotify or MP3 first popped up, and then later streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, and so on, you get more and more used to compressed music first, and then ever lighter headphones. So from normal headphones you went to earbuds, and then later on from cables you went to Bluetooth or other wireless technology. And now for me it's like things are going a little back again to where we started, of course at a more technical advanced level, but looking at the equipment that you see in the photo here, we are now back at lossless, which to my understanding is more or less CD quality or higher if you have high-res lossless. Going back to normal over-the-ear headphones with a cable, because otherwise you cannot really listen to lossless. Bluetooth cannot handle these data volumes necessary. So it's going away again from portable and as streamlined and as light and practical as possible, going back to have focus on enjoying music more than you maybe did over the last few years. Of course, unless you had a home hi-fi system with all the equipment, but I would assume that's the minority today. Most people are happy with earbuds and AirPods and what they're called from Apple, and your normal streaming services. So what is my experience now from the last few weeks? I have to say I'm really enjoying music more than I expected. One thing is the lossless itself, where you just focus on the music again with a decent pair of headphones, which requires the power that you got with the FiiO Q3, or even better amplifiers that serve more power for higher ohm headphones. But just leaning back and just enjoying the music, and Apple Music on their lossless, they have a wide variety. So whatever you're into, be it hip hop, metal, classic, pop, 80s, 90s, almost everything is in lossless according to the titles I was listening to the last few weeks. So it's a great experience just to have that level of detail again. Would I know the difference between compressed Spotify music and lossless? To be honest, I'm not sure. If you would give me both on the same pair of headphones, I'm not sure if I would actually notice a difference. But just knowing that you haven't lost anything on the transmission, that you are listening to it more or less as it was intended to, that by itself for me is some value. Another thing which I didn't address in my first video is also that Dolby Atmos, or what Apple calls it, spatial sound over the headphones. I didn't have any expectations whatsoever. You see on my channel that I went to some of my Sonos equipment, which I use for Dolby Atmos or Dolby Digital Plus for my TV. And there I have some experience with it, but for me that's more like the movie world. I never thought about using it for music. My Sonos cannot play Apple Atmos. I think I would need a Apple TV adapter or something, but I cannot simply stream it to my Sonos. So it doesn't work on my home Sonos, but it works on my headphones. And my expectations were very low. I didn't really think much about it, and that is a very positive surprise now after a few weeks. I found myself more and more going through random Apple playlists that are dedicated to only spatial or Atmos sound. And even though there might be music or playlists that are not really my kind of taste, I'm really enjoying it. Be it old hip hop songs, be it even pop music, which I'm normally not listening to too much. But just the way the spatial sound presents and the clarity and the directions, I find myself more and more just listening to random songs that I normally wouldn't listen to. It's not something that you listen to while you're at work or in your home office or you're jogging or walking outdoors. It's more if you dedicate half an hour or an hour, just have a glass of wine or so and listen to music with a decent pair of headphones and some good equipment that can drive the headphones, and just give Apple spatial audio a try. Again, I'm positively surprised. It's not every track that I'm blown away, but a few of these tracks I'm like, wow, okay. There is some detail in it which I never expected, and it makes music that normally wouldn't be my cup of tea really enjoyable to listen to. So, summing up so far from the first few weeks with my old Biodynamics headphones, which have had for many years, but haven't really used that much since you cannot walk around with them. They're also semi-open, so you cannot use them on public transport on the office. Everybody around you would hear what you're listening to. And not having the equipment, like the modern iPhones, they don't even have a headphone jack anymore and not enough power to drive these headphones. So then going back to the lossless audio and spatial or Dolby Atmos and a decent pair of headphones and the FiiO Q3 deck and amplifier that can drive these headphones, for me has been a very pleasant experience. Actually exceeded my expectations in terms of how much I'm enjoying music. You see in that little picture that's in the background all the time that I now taped the FiiO Q3 under my coffee table, so it's there all the time, and it's easy then to operate the on-off switch and the volume knob when you're listening to music, so that works very well for me. So that video was just intended to share my very personal experience over the last few weeks with that equipment. I'm by no means an audiophile or an expert on any of that equipment, neither for streaming services, for headphones, or for the FiiO Q3. I don't have anything to compare it against either. So if you're looking for an expert opinion, you're in the wrong video. But I assume most people who are watching these videos are not experts either. And maybe that's even more interesting to get a first-hand experience for somebody who is not over-analyzing it, but just at the end of the day can only say, I really enjoy the lossless audio, and I surprisingly enjoyed the spatial or Dolby Atmos audio that is part of the Apple Music update since June. If that helps you in making the decision to maybe give Apple Music or home hi-fi equipment another try, go for it. If you think this was a waste of time, that's fine. Give me a thumbs down. If you have any other comments or questions or want to share your personal experience, just leave a comment in the video. Thank you.